Volkswagen Sharan 7N model. This particular car is 2012. They've been producing them since 2010. Today we're going to replace rear brake pads and rear discs because they are worn out, and we have MOT coming in 3 days, and this video will show you how it can be done with or without computer, because we have electronic parking brake at the back. So we are going to use a computer, but I'm gonna tell you about the options, how it's possible to replace it without computer. What I have done here so far, we've just cut the rear of the car and removed the wheels, choke the front wheels so it doesn't roll anywhere, doesn't go anywhere, and just for extra security put it in reverse gear so wheels not spinning. And now from here, welcome to the darkness of my garage. So we've put the car on stance, put stance on the subframe. That's the reasonable place I found, and for extra security I have 2 more jacks, one bottle jack on that side and a trolley jack on this side, so I want to be as safe as possible. So let's have a look what's going on here. This is our brake disc. As you can see, it's worn out quite badly. We have a caliper and a piston. Brake fluid, when you press your brake pedal, brake fluid comes into this piston and then it squeezes brake pads onto your disc, in case if you didn't know. So in addition, we have a little electric motor here on each side. This is your electronic parking brake, so when you put your parking brake on, it just winds this caliper so it squeezes the disc. So what happens, why do we need a computer? With the flow of time, when brake pads wearing out, this electric motor, it adjusts itself to the size of the brake pads. So when they wear out, it goes further and further. So when we fit new brake pads, obviously they will be much thicker, and we need to rewind that computer. So the proper way to do it, of course, is connect a computer that can do it and rewind this parking brake all the way back. There are 2 more ways, at least I know 2 more ways how to do it without it, but we'll come back to them later. When I'll take the caliper off, I'll show you a bit more. Now I'm gonna connect the device I have, and we're gonna rewind the caliper. There's a big range of different devices that can rewind your calipers. I've got something like this. It says Volkswagen T500. It's specific for VAG. Of course, the best thing is VAG-COM DCDS. Eventually I'll get that as well, but there are on the internet, if you search for it, electronic parking brake, there's plenty of devices, because it's not a too complicated task to tell the car to rewind the calipers. This is a device that can scan a bit more, can do a bit more than just a rear electronic parking brake. But so back to business, let's do it. Let's find the plug where it is. So let's have a look where the plug is, and it's there. You see this purple socket here? So this is where you plug in your device or computer. Once we plugged it in, it gets powered by the car. So first, to make communication possible, we need to put the ignition on and also release the parking brake so it can be operated. Now we go in this specific device. They can be different. We go to the VAG, VW, common special functions, electronic parking brake. No, that's for Audi. Make sure the voltage is okay so we don't get battery down while operating. So you get 3 functions: open parking brake, close parking brake test. So we'll go for open parking brake, and you'll see it here at rewinding. I'll just press it. Start. Off we go. Have a look in there. So what has happened, it rewinded those electric motors all the way back, and it says open parking brake, success. Now I can go to brakes and see what's going on there and understand it and change the pads. But the rest is pretty simple, is mechanical work. We have two little balls here. One is this one, another one exactly the same at the bottom, and once we start turning them, there's like a little nut to counter hold it. So we take these little bolts out. They are 13 mil, they're not very tight, so let's take them out. So we put 13 mil socket and start turning. As you can see, nut is turning at the same time, so we're gonna take 15 mil spanner and take it out, same as the bottom. They are loose, we can take them out by hand. This is what they look like. And this one, and it still doesn't want to come out that easy. And then take the top one. Because calipers are all the way back, it should be pretty loose, as you can see. So we can take this bit off. And let's have a look at it. When you press your brake pedal, there is a big cylinder called master cylinder that sends pressure to all pistons, all four wheels with the liquid. That's why it has done. They've done it because liquid spreads pressure evenly. So this piston squeezes brake pads upon your disc. This is our electronic parking brake motor. It's held on two balls here. Unfortunately, I don't have time and I don't want to mess about with the car before the MOT, but when you're desperate and you don't have a computer, two ways to do it. You can undo these two bolts, one on each side, one here, and take this motor out, and then manually there will be like a hexagon hole you can rewind as far as it goes. The other way, I've seen one guy on YouTube, so you can disconnect this plug and connect 12 volts. So when you change polarity, it changes way it turns. So find the polarity that will rewind it back all the way it goes. So that's another way to do it. We've done it today proper way, and unfortunately I don't have time to show it to you. So let's carry on with the brake change. We just will hang caliper to somewhere because the best thing is not to put pressure any on this little pipe with the brake fluid, brake line, so it doesn't hang on the brake line. We hang it on a hook so it stays out of the way. So now we can take screwdriver or little brake bar and simply take these brake pads out. There's still something left. They're not critical, but we're gonna replace them because we want it to be perfect before the MOT. You know, I'm a taxi driver and my MOTs are pretty strict. I'm gonna replace this disc as well. It's held by a little bolt. Normally it's T30. I can be wrong. We'll just find out what exactly it is. This bolt is only to hold disc in its place. In case if you're wondering why this little bolt holds brake disc, it doesn't. Just when we take the wheel off, it holds it in its place. Normally it's all held by big 5 bolts that hold the wheels and brake disc all together. So to be able to remove brake disc, we need to remove this bracket as well, because it will be on the way, so we can take it off. This bracket is held by 2 bolts from the back there. Have a look at this side. So this is 1, this is 2. These are inside spline bolts, M14, so we're gonna use this tool like this. Is 12 star, triple square, whatever they call it, is 12 star, and it's M14 the size. So we're gonna use it to remove these bolts. These bolts are pretty tight, so I'm gonna use a breaker bar. something with a long bar, and we're gonna undo these bolts. Put some pressure and undo them. Once you got it loose, you can finish by ratchet. By the way, when you're breaking them loose, make sure that spline bit goes all the way inside the bolt, so you don't break the bolt. Once it's loose, you can finish by hand. Normally, it's pretty long bolt. There we go. Just like that. Now we can take the bracket off and put it somewhere safe. Then we take our T30 Torx, and normally it shouldn't be tight. This little screw bolt. Take it out, and we can take the disc off. If it sits tight, that means it has got a bit of rust in there. So we can take a hammer and give it a bit of a whack. There we go. Now, despite the caliper is rewinded with the electric motor, we still need to push the piston with the brake fluid. We need to push it in. So for that, we're going to use a special tool, which is commonly sold anyway. It just pushes this piston back. But before we do that, come with me. I'm going to show you something. This is our brake fluid tank, and because when we're going to push the piston back, brake fluid may rise the level, so we're going to put some tissues around it, so if it runs away, it doesn't run too far, because if brake fluid gets on your paint, it can damage paint. So all we do is just wrap it with the tissues in case if it leaks. We shouldn't go too high. So we put you got the idea, I hope. So this is what we do. We put this tool and then we start turning it. So as you can see, the piston goes in. So you push it back all the way it goes, as far as it goes. That's it. Can't go any further. As you can see, it's all pushed back in, so we can put big, nice, new pads, and that's it. Let's have a look what happened there. So it didn't raise too much, so hopefully it won't leak at all. This is what we have here. This is not the advert, but it's still pretty good brand. Brembo. Comes with new bolts, as if you buy normal, expensive or good brake pads, they come with new springs for the bracket with new bolts, because all of that needs to be renewed. And this is our pads. Before you fit, compare that they look exactly the same or very similar. These two pins, but the pad is the same. So make sure it's the same before you fit it. And then we have a set of discs, also Brembo. And we compare it. That is the same size, same disc. Beautiful. Let's put that in. Some brake discs might come in a little bags covered in oils to prevent them from rusting. This one seems to be dried, but it's still, you can use brake and clutch cleaner. Also not the advert, not necessarily this brand, but it's good to have them clean so you don't have any grease or oil on your desk. So clean them first. New discs, normal discs, they should come with everything, all new bolts. So we have even new bolts for the disc little bolt T30. It's not. it's a square. Not square. It's
Cross.
It's cross. So we take a cross-head screwdriver and put it in. Before we put anything, we take a metal brush and clean it all up to make sure that it's all perfect. Sits here. Try not to breathe while you're doing this. We can take a bit of copper grease and put it on this little screw, just in case in the future when you get rusty you can remove it easier. Also, the other thing, some people apply copper grease here so it doesn't get stuck, so we don't have to hammer it when we have to take it off. I'd rather prefer to keep it clean completely, so nothing in between disc and the hub, because just in case if something gets, you know, some dirt, dust, and then it's a little bit uneven, then it gets a little bit not so balanced. So let's take this disc and put the screw in. Tightening torque for this little fellow is 4 Newton meters, so it's pretty much just to hold it in place. You don't have to over tighten it, just a little bit. That's it. So this is our new disc. Then we take our bracket, take this old springs out and give it a good clean again with the brush, because this is your car, you want it to be perfect. Now when it's all clean, we take new springs, put them in, put them straight so it matches the hole. There we go. Now we take our bracket bolts. We're going to apply some copper grease on them so we don't have to struggle in the future. It's good to renew them as well, but our brake pad and disc kit didn't come with new bolts, so we're gonna fit them. It's not the end of the world. Tightening torques for this bolt is 90 Newton meters plus 90 degrees further. So I've got this electronic tightening torque wrench. It should be at 90. That's it, 90. So we turn it another 90 degrees, which is a quarter of the turn. My system is, you see this little letter on the top, it should be pointing 90 degrees, so it should be pointing that way. So we turn it a bit more tighter. Considering the fact that I'm not using new bolts, I'm not renewing them, so that tightening torque 90 Newton meters plus 90 degrees you might not reach, because they've been used already, they've been tightened to that torque. So you pretty much do them tight, don't break them, just as tight as you can so you don't break them. See, I'm using brake bar on both and they don't go any further, so I'm happy. Do a bit more cleaning with a brake and clutch cleaner to keep it nice and tidy. Right, now it's good to put our new parts. Some people recommend to put some copper grease here, but I don't see the point because it's all new and it will be moving alright. I don't like the copper grease here because it can get on the brake disc and all that. But we put some copper grease on the back so these fingers don't, so they can slide here easily. But don't get too excited with copper grease because it's a grease, you don't want it on your brakes. So you just simply slide this brake pad in, and on the other side as well, same as this, same as front, and put them on. So have a look at it. This is what it should be like. They should be right on the disc. We can apply a bit of a copper grease on this side of the brake pad, so these fingers, they can move easy. Can put some on the piston. Now we can take this hook off. And put this new, see, with the piston all the way in, you can easily put it on. And then using our new bolts, they have a little bit of a thread look on them already. So start it with your hand so you don't break the thread. And then tighten these bolts. Tightening torques for these little ones are 35 Newton meters. By the way, I forgot to tell you, anything I do is full description with images, diagrams, available in printable format, link below the video. So I've got it on my website, full description, and there's lots of other things about this car. It's a free collection of manuals created and edited by users. You're very welcome. 35. Now do the same to the other wheel. I'm not going to show you that, and then I'll be back with you. I'll do the other wheel. Now with that side done, now we can wind these calipers back on. We put ignition again. I'll switch off these parking sensors. So now we can close parking brake. We choose close parking brake. It doesn't like it. And then enter. And then start. And now you can hear that parking brake is closing. The other thing, if you've done this without this device, without any computer, then that parking brake adjusts itself automatically. So all you need to do is just pull the handbrake. I'm gonna put the handbrake on anyway because we're gonna put the wheels now. So parking brake is on. Before you move anywhere, just press the brake pedal a few times to put some brake fluid in those pistons. And that's it, job done. Put your wheels back on, and that's it. More stuff, see my website, wheelsandmotors.com, and thank you for watching.